I had this thought, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking around, I'm talking to her, and I'm like looking underneath my feet, make sure like ain't no critters. And my mind is just wandering, but like I'm tuning into her. And I had a moment where I was like, maybe I should go over to that tree, maybe and talk to her. Like I was feeling pulled to like go over there. And I was having like this inner dialogue, and I'm just like, nah. She want me to come over there. She might give up a little more quicker. Like she might speak to me a little quicker. But this one, she feel ancient to me for whatever reason, and I'm just like, yeah, it might take a little longer before this transaction, before this communication, before this dialogue starts taking place. It might it's gonna be a little different how you speak to me, but like I'm gonna wait for it. And as I'm having this conversation with her, I just realized like, and I'm thinking about her and like how I was gonna go over there, and I'm just like looking at my apartment, and I'm looking over here, and I'm just having this conversation that's take like this thought that's coming to my mind just on such a level that I can't translate, right? But it's just like, hey, I've been protected. Like trees are wisdom, trees are protection, and just like kind of maybe feeling the flow of her, the life force of some parts of her. And I'm like, hey, I'm surrounded. Like my soul brought me here before I even knew. Like I've been surrounded by protection this whole time and didn't even realize it. I've been surrounded by wisdom, but I planted myself here purposefully. And the fact that like I was planted here in the process of being able to help someone that I loved, one of my dear friends. Like I moved here because I knew that she was going to stay with me, and I knew that I needed to have space. Like I wanted us both to be comfortable, and I know like how I am with people in my space. So I moved here specifically because it had a 2 bedroom that I could afford. And I'm just like having that moment like, damn, the only reason I moved here was to be great because for my friend, like to be a safe space for my friend. Like that's why I chose this place. And like I chose wisdom and protection, not knowing what was going to happen, how long I was going to be here, because I thought I would leave after the year lease or whatever. Like I didn't even think I would still be in Cleveland or Ohio. And I definitely didn't think that she wouldn't be here. So I'm just thinking about like my intent of coming here and like everything that happened and all that, and like how I'm just now connecting and recognizing the power of like this space, like my where I stayed at in both apartments, because after her death I moved to a new apartment in the same complex though, but both apartments just like literally surrounded by trees on either end. Like I look out the window and I'm just like, wow. And that's one of the reasons I love this apartment complex, because like it's beautiful nature wise. And I'm just thinking like, wow, just like our ancient selves and souls, like who we are when we and are in our wholeness, like the way that our ancestors used to be connected to this earth. Like that's how I feel like a part of me understood that, and like it was like all the places that I could be in Cleveland where I could be that for her. Like this is what was available, this is what I decided to take. And I'm just like, wow. So I still made a way to get as rooted as I could, to get as close to nature as I could, because I always appreciate the beauty of this space. But just more and more lately, it's just on another level. Like I already had appreciation, but that appreciation is magnifying to a total level. Appreciation, level of understanding, level of connectedness, right? To like soul and ancient and timeless. And I'm just looking at her trees and branches and like the soul of her in my mind. It's just doing what it does. Like, and I had a moment where I'm like, damn, like each branch represents a soul, a piece, a life of how it got connected to the trunk, right? Like the trunk, the branches. And then it just made me think of my tattoo. Like, if y'all look, I have the feather pen. That's because the writing, the words. So it says, like, it's supposed to be write your life, choose your life, write your life. And then the tree, like the power of understanding that, like, we are ancient beings, we are life, we are rooted, we are free, we are connected, like we are source, right? And this tree specifically was supposed to be I always pronounce it wrong, but baobab tree. That's really revered and respected in Africa, and just like being being connected and being taught and seeing the reverence that the people had, and being informed of like the importance of that particular tree and the source that that particular tree brought, connected with my soul. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna incorporate that in my tattoo. And then you have the woman. So this woman, for me, that was representative for black woman. Like, that's the black woman, because I believe that black woman is source, black woman is God, black women are creator, we are nurturer. So everything that a tree represents, everything that I even seen on that level of like what this tree, how this tree sustained their communities and the world, in essence, like, right, like trees sustain us, the life force for us. That was a black woman to me. That is what I saw. And that baby in her hand represents like us birthing that, right? So that it continues. Like, and that baby represents the future, the past, like another piece of that ancient soul, the ancient body. And then you have the hands of the man, the protector, like he is holding he is holding them up. He is helping to hold. Like, he's also incorporated in that, what is that, like the base, that root, like that part, like holding up her, so that like she's kind of like merged into his hand, like his body, they're one. So in essence, the other side of that tree is like him, and he's holding her up and allowing her to just be, and to be in tune, and to touch her, like for that touch, for he's just allowing her to be, like he is merging into that space for her to be able to be that force. So incessantly they are all one. Like, he is providing space for that nurturing, that baby, that soul. Like, so all these souls are connected. And then you had the yin and yang sign, like ebb and flow. It all comes together, masculine, feminine, all energies, right? Like, you have that embedded into that as well. And then I had the butterfly and the dragonfly. So the butterfly, the colors didn't come through, but the butterfly represents like transition, right? And it was green because both Chrissy and Racine's favorite colors were green. So that represented them, and life, like branches of the tree that we associate with trees being healthy, and is green, right? So like the leaves of the tree like are green, like that's them. That just represent like that open, that door, that connection still to the 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 source, right? To what the being, what never dies, like the life, the blood. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. So transition, like, and we always think about transition and butterflies, but like actually what that is, and just how it all connects, like the message, like life force, ebb and flow, transition. It just, butterflies, the meaning just incorporates with all of this soul of this whole piece, right? So that was to represent Chrissy, the friendship, the things that I learned from them, the 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 position that they play, like the parts that they play into like my different parts of spiritual revelation and evolution, and like being able to be in this moment of enlightenment, right? And then you have the dragonflies. So dragonflies is also like power and like wisdom and I forget the other word, but it's also like attached to ancestors, right? And messages. And so one of the dragonflies is purple because my best friend Glory her favorite color is purple. And then the other dragonfly is supposed to be blue because my best friend's Cara and Elmer's favorite color are blue. So those are representative of two other like soul relationships, soul family, like that really gave me space and grace and patience and love and to evolve into like every being of me, like, right, like they provided what we describe as love, what we associate to love, like, and I knew that like they were my safe space. They are part of my foundation. Like, we have lived multiple lifetimes together in tight relationships, like in every essence all of them are very, very protective of me, of our space, of our energy. Like, in lifetimes past they have been on my protective detail, my warriors. Like, they have been that for me in different ways, like nurturing, fierce. Like, they are parts of me on the outside, and my relationship and friendships with them have like allowed me to become this being, have shown me the light, have pushed me and protected me and accepted me, like gave me safe space, right? They are all parts of me. So that's how those are connected. And then you have the branches and the vines and the other pieces that for me show the other pieces of life force that you get off of a tree, that I was able to connect with. So my relationship with these beings allowed me to connect with all these other people and to create all these other people. Like, our relationships blossomed and touched and created so many other relationship dynamics that like help to protect me and help me evolve and help to like give me life, that pour into me in some type of way, that I've connected with, like all these beings that make up a part of my life, right? So yeah, like, and the also the butterfly, even though Chrissy and Racine are the green, it's also like the spirit of it is for like all of my transition people, my spiritual team that make up for me, right? So essentially, like, if you ever hear me talk about spirituality or anything, like, I'm always referring to my spiritual team, right? Because for me, my spiritual team is God, the universe, the creators, the ancestors, the fairies, the vampires, the werewolves, the demons, the angels, like all of the unknown, all of the pieces that are out here that got my best interest in mind, right? My best interest at heart. And it also incorporates like my earth side beings and spiritual souls, like my friends, the people that I love, people that have like just looked out for me, like souls that may not be connected to me, but that still looked out for me along the way in this journey of life. So like, that's what all of that like represents. Like, that's what having the butterfly and the dragonfly and the branches and stuff, like that's what that represents for me. So yeah, yeah, represents lyric. Like, when I think of the butterfly, like that's the soul of the butterfly, the transition, like transition in so many ways. Even when I think about, like, last night I was like looking at my arm, I was just like looking at my body, like my different tattoos, my artwork, and I was like, Yeah, it makes sense that I'm always drawn to a butterfly, because every part of my being has been transitioned, right? Like, I'm gonna get a phoenix, because I've been fucking rebirthed every fucking lifetime, right? And like, I'm just thinking about like all these totems that I have on my body and artwork, like the angel on my back, representative of my brother, the day he entered and exited this realm. But like the relationship that I had, the protection that he had, and it's on my back because like he always had my back. And even with him being in the other realm, he still has my back. Like, but when I was 19, I didn't have that insight. I just saw this tattoo in my head that I wanted to get, and I know it was memorialization of my brother. And so that's what I got. And then I'm thinking of like the tattoo that me and my cousin got together, the angel, y'all know the word, caricatures of, I know I'm saying that wrong, of Jesus and the devil, because I was like in Christianity at the time, right? But we did the caricature, and it's like it was a play on the Joker faces. And it's Jesus and the devil. And like, of course, Jay-Z, Still, Jigga, #1, the Black Album was the album at that time. We would be like riding in his old school Cutlass, like listening to music around St. Clair or 102nd, because I grew up on St. Clair. Like I grew up on St. Clair, even though I wasn't living in Cleveland at the time. Like, he was living on St. Clair, like right in the middle of like my old hood, and he wasn't. So that was like, okay. And then like his spot was off 102nd, off 93rd, over there, Hilgert Dickens, like that area, right? So like we just like, oh, Rockefeller, what? That was the shit back then, right? So like we just listening in the car, and anytime Jay rapped that verse, man, you was who you was for you got here. You could try to change, but that's just the top layer. Man, you was who you was for you got here. And only God can judge us. So I'm gone. Either love me or leave me alone, right? And that verse, like even back then, was like so powerful, and that's what I meant. And so I did. So like we did the Joker faces, like for God and the devil, simply because of the meaning back then. Like it wasn't like, oh, because Jesus this. It was like because the connection to good and evil. So it was just like, either you for me or you against me. Like if you got my back, you for me. Like if you love me, you got my back. And if you don't, like, go on about your business. So up here it says either love me. No, it says either, and then like up under the Jesus caricature, the good caricature, the love, it says love or leave me alone, like under the devil. So y'all have seen my tats on here. So just like thinking about that, and just like how I'm still that way, like in essence, I put a protection on myself and didn't know. And I just be like, damn, just thankful for like the people in the situations that weed themselves out, the spaces that I've been able to be, the places I've been able to go, the choices I've been able to make, the ways I've been able to maneuver, the intelligence and wisdom that I've gained, that's created like these spaces for me, that's kept me safe, right? Like, hey, I repelled them, either love me or leave me alone. Like I didn't even have that understanding at night. At when I get this tattoo, so 18, I think 19. So no, this might have been, yeah, like 19 or 20, right? And then Lyric, of course, this one, my baby girl. I just got her footprints. I got her name and her footprints put on me. And that in itself, like, she was my aspiration, my inspiration for so many things. I went through so much pain having her. I died so many deaths. I wanted to die physically. And so much of my life now is even like before, I'm like, wait, before I got pregnant or after? Like before I was pregnant with Lyric or after? Like for people that's not close to me, like I'll be trying to figure out like when they came in my life, or sometime when I'm trying to figure out, hold on, certain